Listen with an attentive heart, my son. I am who I am, and at this very moment, I decree upon your life something that will astonish you with its power and speed. Vast sums of money will manifest for you in 2 days or less. This is not an empty promise. It is a universal law in motion. It is a spiritual decree based on principles that underpin all creation. Most of my children live waiting, begging, and pleading for money. They spend years asking, pleading, and chasing. But I don't respond to desperate pleading. I respond to confident assumption. There's a huge difference between asking from a place of need and assuming from a place of certainty. And today, in these next few minutes, I'm going to reveal that difference to you. I'm going to teach you how I created the universe and how you will create your abundance using the exact same principle. The money you seek already exists. It's not in the future. It's circulating right now, flowing around you, waiting for you to change your vibration to attract it. You don't need to create it. You need to align with it. And this alignment doesn't come from desperate effort, but from silent and powerful acceptance. Prepare yourself, because what you're about to learn isn't magic. It's not luck. It's not chance. It's the exact way reality works. Most people don't understand this. Most people run, strive, work to exhaustion, but remain in the same vibration of lack, and lack attracts more lack. The universe doesn't reward desperate effort. The universe rewards vibrational alignment. When you accept that you are already rich, when you feel that the money is already yours, when you live from this certainty, I move heaven and earth to manifest this in your physical reality. This isn't theory. This isn't philosophy. This is law. The same law I use to make the sun rise every morning. The same law that keeps the stars in the sky. The same law that makes your heart beat without you having to think about it. And this law is available to you now, in this very moment. You don't have to wait. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to accept it. I have placed within you the same power I use to create worlds. The same power that calls into existence what does not exist. It's written in the scriptures, Romans 4:17. I call into existence what does not exist, and this power is within you. When you say, I am, you are using my name, the most sacred name, and everything that comes after I am, you create. If you say I am poor, you create poverty. If you say I am rich, you create wealth. It's simple, it's direct, it's powerful. In the next few minutes, I'll guide you step by step. I'll show you exactly how to embrace it, how to feel it, how to manifest it. I'll reveal the technique that Neville Goddard, one of my most enlightened servants, used to manifest fortunes. I'll teach you the nightly ritual that programs your subconscious while you sleep. I'll show you how to destroy the blocks that prevent you from receiving, and I'll give you the final decree that seals your abundance. If you feel this decree was made specifically for you at this moment, comment Amen now and accept this truth about your life. But before we continue, I need you to understand something fundamental. This isn't about asking. This is about assuming. You won't ask for money. You'll assume it's already yours. You won't wait for it to arrive. You'll live as if it's already there. You won't doubt. You'll have absolute certainty. And when you do that, when you truly assume it, the universe has no choice but to manifest. It's law. It's inevitable. It's certain. So take a deep breath, open your heart, prepare your mind. Because what you're about to learn in the next few minutes will change your financial life forever. 2 days or less. That's the time. That's the decree. That's the law in motion. And it all starts now. The truth I'm about to reveal to you now goes against everything you've been taught about money. You've been told you need to work hard. You've been told you need to make sacrifices. You've been told money comes with time, effort, and sweat. But I'm telling you the truth. Money doesn't come through effort. Money comes through vibration. Money doesn't come through struggle. Money comes through alignment. Look around you. You see people who work 12, 14 hours a day and remain poor. You see people who work themselves to the point of exhaustion and can't get anywhere. And you see others who seem to attract money effortlessly, as if by magnetism. What's the difference? The vibration, the awareness, the assumption. It's not what they do, it's who they are. It's not the external action, it's the internal state. I created the universe with words. I said, "Let there be light," and there was light. I did not strive. I did not fight. I did not chase after the light. I assumed the light existed, and it did. This is the law of creation. This is the law that governs everything. And this same law is available to you. When you assume you are rich, when you feel the money is already yours, when you live from this certainty, reality has no choice but to rearrange itself to reflect this assumption. But most do the opposite. Most live in a vibration of lack. They wake up thinking, "I don't have any money." They spend the day worrying about bills. They go to sleep fearing the future. And this vibration of lack attracts more lack. It's a law, like attracts like. Life doesn't give you what you ask for. Life gives you what you sustain with repeated emotion. If you sustain fear, you receive more reasons to fear. If you sustain abundance, you receive more abundance. So the question isn't how I'm going to get money. The question is what my vibration is right now, what my internal state is, what I'm assuming to be true about myself. Because that assumption, that vibration, that internal state is what creates your external reality. It's not the other way around. Most people wait for the external reality to change in order to change their internal state, but it works the other way around. You change your internal state and the external reality has no choice but to change. This is scary because it means you have the power. It means you're not a victim of circumstances. It means you don't depend on anyone. It means the money you seek is already available, just waiting for you to change your frequency to tune into it. It's like a radio. The music is already on the air. You just need to tune in to the right frequency. And the right frequency is the assumption. It's the feeling of already having it. It's absolute certainty. Share this video now with someone who needs to understand this truth and break free from the scarcity mindset. I'm not asking you to pretend. I'm not asking you to lie to yourself. I'm asking you to embrace it. Embracing it is different from pretending. Pretending is superficial. Embracing it is profound. When you embrace it, you mentally inhabit the desired reality. You feel as if it were already real. You live from that place. And when you do this consistently, with faith, with certainty, manifestation is inevitable. In the next few minutes, I'll teach you exactly how to do this. I'll give you the practical techniques. I'll show you how to visualize, how to feel, how to program your subconscious, how to destroy doubts, how to maintain the vibration. But before we get to the techniques, you need to understand this fundamental. You need to understand that it's not about doing more. It's about being different. It's not about external effort. It's about internal alignment. The universe is abundant. There is enough money for everyone. There are infinite resources. Scarcity is an illusion. Scarcity is a mindset. Scarcity is a low vibration. And when you raise your vibration, when you embrace abundance, when you live from the certainty that you are rich, the universe conspires to bring this into your physical reality, not because you deserve it, not because you are special, but because it is the law, because that is how it works, because it is inevitable. So stop chasing, stop desperately striving, Stop begging. Start taking charge. Start feeling. Start living from the end, and watch as the money begins to flow to you in ways you never imagined possible, 2 days or less. That's the time. That's the law. That's the decree on your life. There's a fundamental difference between asking and decreeing. When you ask, you place yourself in a position of need. When you decree, you place yourself in a position of authority. When you ask, you assume you don't have it. When you decree, you assume it's already yours. And this difference changes everything. It changes the vibration. It changes the frequency. It changes the outcome. I created the universe with decrees. I did not ask for light to exist. I decreed it. Let there be light. And there was light. I did not beg. I did not plead. I did not wait for permission. I decreed it, and it happened. Because the decree comes from absolute certainty. The decree comes from authority. The decree comes from the knowledge that you have the power to create, and that same power is within you. When I created you in my image and likeness, it wasn't just a pretty metaphor, it was literal. I placed within you the ability to create with words, the ability to decree reality, the ability to call into existence what doesn't exist. But most don't use this power. Most live asking, hoping, begging, and that's why most don't manifest. A spiritual decree is not an empty statement. It's not repeating words without feeling. A spiritual decree is a declaration charged with certainty, faith, and absolute conviction. When you declare, "I am rich," you're not trying to convince yourself. You're declaring a truth. You're assuming an identity. You're inhabiting a reality. And the universe responds to that declaration because it recognizes the authority behind it. Supplication comes from fear. Decree comes from faith. Supplication says, "Please give it to me." Decree says, "I am it. I have it. It's mine." Supplication is a low vibration. Decree is a high vibration. Supplication repels. Decree attracts. And when you learn to decree, when you truly understand the power you have, manifestation ceases to be a mystery and becomes an exact science. In the next few minutes, I'll teach you how to decree correctly. I'll give you the exact words. I'll show you how to charge those words with emotion. I'll teach you the visualization technique that multiplies the power of the decree. I'll reveal the nightly ritual that programs your subconscious while you sleep. And I'll show you how to destroy the mental blocks that prevent manifestation. But before we get to the practical techniques, I need you to understand something crucial. This isn't a long process. You won't need months or years, 2 days or less. That's the time. And this is scary because it challenges everything you've been taught. You've been taught that good things take time. You've been taught that you need to wait. You've been taught that patience is a virtue. But I tell you the truth, manifestation is instantaneous in the spiritual world. The time it takes to appear in the physical world depends only on the firmness of your assumption. When you assume with absolute certainty, when there is no doubt, when there is no fear, when there is no questioning, manifestation is rapid. It can be in hours, it can be in days, but it is rapid. Delay happens when there is doubt, when there is fear, when there is inconsistency in vibration, when you assume one moment and doubt the next. But when you hold firm to the assumption, when you live from that certainty, the universe moves quickly to manifest. If you want to continue receiving these divine decrees, like this video now and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any revelations. So, get ready. What you're about to learn isn't theory, it's practice. It's not philosophy, it's technique. It's not empty inspiration, it's precise instruction. I'll guide you step by step. I'll show you exactly what to do. I'll give you the tools. And if you follow exactly what I teach you, If you apply it with faith and consistency, you'll see money manifest in your life in 2 days or less. This is no exaggeration. This is no empty promise. This is universal law. The same law that makes seeds germinate, the same law that makes the tides rise and fall, the same law that keeps planets in orbit, and this law does not fail. You cannot fail. It is spiritual mathematics, it is quantum physics, it is reality, but you need to do your part. You need to own it. You need to feel it. You need to maintain the vibration. You need to trust. You need to let go of control over how it will happen and just focus on assuming it has already happened. And when you do that, when you truly do that, the universe has no choice but to manifest. It's inevitable, it's certain, it's guaranteed. So take a deep breath, open your mind, prepare your heart, because now we're going to get into the practical techniques. We're going to get into the law of assumption. We're going to get into the power of I am, and your financial life will never be the same. 2 days or less, the decree is made, the law is in motion, and it all starts now. Now, I'm going to reveal to you the secret that separates those who manifest from those who spend their entire lives waiting. The difference between assuming and asking. Most don't understand this difference. Most spend years asking, pleading, supplicating, and never receive, because asking is the language of need. Assuming is the language of creation. When you ask for something, what are you really saying to the universe? You're saying you don't have it. You're declaring absence. You're declaring lack. And the universe, which responds to your vibration and not your words, hears this declaration of lack and gives you more lack. Because the law is simple. You receive what you assume to be true, not what you desire, not what you ask for, what you assume. Assuming is completely different. Assuming is mentally inhabiting the desired reality as if it were already real. It's not pretending. It's not lying to yourself. It's occupying the state of consciousness of those who already have it. It's feeling the gratitude of those who have already received it. It's living from the certainty that it's already yours. And when you do this, when you truly assume it, your vibration changes completely. And the universe responds to this new vibration. Let me give you an example. Imagine 2 people. The first wakes up every morning and asks, "Please, universe, send me money. I need it so much. I don't have it. Please help me." This person is in the vibration of lack. They are in the frequency of want. They are in the state of not having. And no matter how much they ask, no matter how much they plead, they continue to attract more lack, because the law responds to the internal state, not to external words. Now imagine the second person. This person wakes up and assumes, "I'm rich, I have abundance, money flows to me easily." This person isn't asking, they're decreeing, they're not begging, they're assuming. And this assumption changes everything. It changes their attitude, it changes their thoughts, it changes their actions, it changes their vibration. And the universe responds to this vibration of abundance by bringing more abundance. See the difference? It's not about the words you say, it's about the state you inhabit. It's not about what you ask for, it's about what you assume to be true, and most fail here. Most keep asking, hoping, begging, without realizing that every request is an affirmation of what they don't have. Every plea is a declaration of lack. Every plea is a vibration of lack. I taught this through the scriptures. It is written, "Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have already received it, and it will be yours." Believe that you have already received it. Don't believe that you will receive it. Believe that you have already received it. This is assumption. This is living from the end. This is inhabiting the desired reality before it physically manifests. And when you do this, manifestation is inevitable. Neville Goddard, one of my servants who deeply understood this law, taught it throughout his life. He said, assuming is living as if it already is. It's not waiting for it to happen, it's living as if it already is. And he proved this repeatedly. He manifested fortunes, he manifested opportunities, he manifested entire realities, because he understood the difference between asking and assuming. So from now on, stop asking, stop begging, stop pleading, start assuming, start decreeing. Start living from the certainty that it's already yours. When you think about money, don't think, I want money. Think, I am rich. I have abundance. Money flows to me. It's not a future desire. It's a present reality. It's not a hope. It's a certainty. And this applies to everything, not just money, to everything you wish to manifest: health, relationships, opportunities. It all works by the same law. Assume you already have it. Feel it as if it were already real. Live from that certainty. And the universe has no choice but to rearrange physical reality to reflect this assumption. But I need to warn you, the mind will resist. The logical mind will say, but I don't have any money. How can I assume I'm rich if my account is empty? And here's the test. Here's where most people give up. Because assumption requires faith. It requires living in the invisible before it becomes visible. It requires feeling abundance before it appears, and this goes against all human logic. But I didn't create you to live by human logic. I created you to live by faith, by assumption, by the creative power I placed within you. And when you use that power correctly, when you assume instead of asking, when you decree instead of supplicating, when you live from the end instead of waiting for the beginning, manifestation happens quickly, 2 days or less, because firm assumption knows no delay. So you decide now, will you keep asking or will you start assuming? Will you remain in the vibration of lack, or will you rise to the vibration of abundance? Will you keep waiting, or will you start living as if you've already received? The choice is yours, but the law is clear. Assume, and you will receive. Ask, and you will remain in lack. There was a man who understood this law better than almost anyone else in modern history. His name was Neville Goddard. I chose him to be one of my messengers, to reveal to the world the law of assumption, to teach humanity how to create its own reality, and he fulfilled this mission perfectly. He taught, he demonstrated, he proved time and time again that assumption works. Neville said something that sums it all up. Feeling is the secret, 3 words, but these 3 words contain all the power of manifestation. It's not thinking, it's not visualizing, it's not affirming, it's feeling, because feeling is the language of the subconscious. Feeling is the vibration the universe recognizes. Feeling is what creates reality. You can repeat, I am rich, 1,000 times, but if you don't feel wealth, if you don't emotionally inhabit that state, you're not assuming. You're just repeating empty words. True assumption happens when feeling and declaration are aligned. When you say, I am rich, you feel the gratitude, relief, and freedom of someone who truly has money. This alignment between word and feeling is what creates manifestation. Neville taught a specific technique. He called it living in the end. Don't imagine the process of receiving the money. Don't visualize how it will arrive. Don't worry about the means. Imagine the end. Imagine you've already received it. Feel the gratitude of those who already have it. Mentally inhabit the reality of those who are already rich. And you do this repeatedly until it becomes natural, until your subconscious accepts it as truth. He told stories of people who manifested fortunes using this technique. People who were broke and within weeks had money flowing in unexpected ways. People who saw no way out and suddenly opportunities appeared out of nowhere. People who applied the law of assumption and saw their reality change completely. And it wasn't luck, it wasn't coincidence, it was law, it was cause and effect. It was assumption generating manifestation. But Neville also warned. He said that most fail because they don't sustain the feeling. They assume it for a moment and then return to doubt. They feel abundance in the morning and fear at night. They live in the end for a few minutes and spend the rest of the day living in lack. And this inconsistency delays manifestation because the universe responds to the dominant state, not the occasional state. That's why practice is essential. It's not enough to assume something once. You need to assume it repeatedly. You need to saturate your subconscious with the feeling of already having it. You need to live from this state for as long as possible. And when doubt arises, and it will, you don't fight it. You simply observe and return to the assumption. You return to the feeling. You return to certainty. If you are ready to take charge of your abundance now, comment 7777 and activate divine manifestation in your life. Neville also taught about the state before sleep. He said that the last thoughts and feelings before sleep are the most powerful, because the subconscious is most receptive, because there is no resistance from the conscious mind, because this is the time when programming occurs most deeply. And if you fall asleep feeling abundant, if the last thing you feel before sleep is gratitude for having already received, your subconscious works all night to manifest that. He proved this in his own life. He manifested travel, he manifested money, he manifested opportunities, all using the same technique. Assume the end, feel as if it were already real, live from that certainty. And he taught this to thousands of people, and those who truly applied it, those who truly felt it, those who truly embraced it, manifested, always, without exception, because this isn't a technique that works sometimes. It's a law that always works, just like gravity always works, just like the law of sowing and reaping always works, the law of assumption always works. If you assume with feeling, if you inhabit the desired state, if you live from the end, manifestation is inevitable. It may take hours, it may take days, but it is inevitable. And here's the scary part. Neville said there's no limit to what you can manifest. There's no ceiling, there's no restriction. If you can assume it, if you can feel it, if you can live it, ultimately, you can manifest anything, any amount of money, any opportunity, any reality, because the power is within you. The power has always been within you. They just haven't taught you how to use it. So now that you know, now that you understand, now that you have the secret that Neville spent his entire life teaching, what will you do? Will you continue living in the vibration of lack? Or will you start embracing abundance? Will you keep asking? Or will you start feeling as if you've already received? The choice is yours, but the secret is revealed. Feeling is the secret. Embrace it, feel it, manifest it, and remember, 2 days or less. That's the time when the assumption is firm, when the feeling is consistent, when you truly live from the end. Manifestation is swift. Manifestation is certain. Manifestation is inevitable because it's the law, and the law doesn't fail. Now I'm going to reveal something to you that will completely change your understanding of money. Money isn't just paper. It's not just numbers on a bill. Money is energy. Money is vibration. Money is frequency. And like all energy, it flows to where it resonates. It flows to where there is vibrational alignment. It flows to those who are on the right frequency. He thinks of money like radio waves. The waves are always in the air, music is always playing, but you only hear it when you tune in to the right frequency. If your radio is tuned to 95.3, you won't hear the station broadcasting at 100.7, not because the station doesn't exist, but because you're not tuned in. Money works exactly the same way. There are trillions of dollars circulating in the world right now. Money is flowing, moving, changing hands. This money hasn't disappeared. It's not hidden. It's available. It's circulating, but it only flows to those on the right frequency. And what's the right frequency? The frequency of abundance, the vibration of those who already have, the state of consciousness of those who are rich. Most people live on the wrong frequency. They live in the vibration of lack. They wake up thinking, I have no money. They spend the day worrying about bills. They feel fear when they think about the future. They feel anxiety when they see their bank statement. And this vibration of lack, this frequency of need, this energy of scarcity repels money. Not because money is bad, but because there's a vibrational mismatch. It's like trying to mix oil and water. They don't mix, not because one is better than the other, but because they have different densities, different frequencies, and the vibration of lack and the vibration of abundance cannot coexist. You're either in one or the other. You either attract or repel. It either flows toward you or moves away from you. There's no middle ground. So how do you change your vibration? How do you tune into the frequency of abundance? Through assumption, through feeling, by living as if you already have it. When you assume you're rich, when you feel gratitude for money you don't yet see, when you live from the certainty of abundance, your vibration changes. And when your vibration changes, money begins to flow to you. It's not complicated metaphysics. It's simple physics. Like attracts like. High vibration attracts high vibration. Abundance attracts abundance. When you raise your frequency to the level of wealth, money has no choice but to flow to you, because there's resonance, because there's alignment, because there's vibrational compatibility. Share this video now and raise the vibration of someone who is stuck in the frequency of scarcity. I created the universe with vibration. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was sound, and sound is vibration. Everything that exists is vibration at different frequencies. Solid matter is slow vibration. Light is fast vibration. Thought is vibration. Emotion is vibration. And money is also vibration. And when your internal vibration matches the vibration of money, the attraction is magnetic. But I need to warn you, you can't fake your vibration. You can't fool the universe. You can't repeat positive affirmations while feeling fear inside, because the universe doesn't hear your words. The universe feels your vibration. And if your vibration is one of fear, doubt, or lack, it doesn't matter how many affirmations you repeat. The dominant vibration is what creates reality. That's why the work is internal. That's why transformation begins within. That's why you need to truly feel abundance before it appears. You need to truly inhabit the vibration of wealth before you see money. You need to truly raise your frequency before external reality changes. And when you do that, when you truly shift your internal vibration, external reality has no choice but to rearrange itself. Have you ever seen people who seem to attract money effortlessly? People who always have opportunities? People for whom money flows easily? It's not luck, it's not privilege, it's vibration. These people, consciously or unconsciously, are on the frequency of abundance. They live in the state of having. They feel deserving. They expect good things to happen, and that's why they attract them. And you can do the same. It doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter how much money you have or don't have in your account. It doesn't matter your past history, because vibration can change instantly. One moment you can be in the frequency of lack. The next moment you can be in the frequency of abundance. All it takes is a decision. All it takes is a shift in focus. All it takes is assuming instead of asking. So now you decide, will you stay in the vibration of lack, or will you rise to the vibration of abundance? Will you stay tuned to the frequency of scarcity, or will you tune to the frequency of wealth? Will you continue to repel money, or will you begin to magnetically attract it? The choice is yours, but the law is clear. Change your vibration and you change your reality. Raise your frequency and you elevate your circumstances. Tune into abundance and abundance flows. It's law, it's physics, it's inevitable, and it always works for everyone without exception, because I created the universe with just laws, and this law is available to you now in this very moment. Just tune in, just embrace it, just feel it, and the money will come. 2 days or less, because when the vibration is right, manifestation is fast. Now I will reveal to you the most powerful secret of all, the secret that is hidden in plain sight, the secret that can transform your life in an instant. And that secret is in 2 words: I am. When Moses asked me what my name was, when he wanted to know what he should call me, I answered, I am who I am. That is my name. That is my power. That is who I am. And when I created you in my image and likeness, I placed that same name within you. I placed that same power within you. I placed that same creative capacity within you. When you say, I am, you're not just making a statement, you're using the name of God. You're activating the creative power of the universe. You're decreeing reality. Everything that comes after I am, you create. If you say, I am poor, you create poverty. If you say, I am sick, you create illness. If you say, I am a failure, you create failure. Because I am is not just a description, it is a creative declaration. It is a divine decree. It is the power that sustains all existence, and this power is in your mouth. It is in your consciousness. It is available to you in every moment. Most people use this power unconsciously. They use it to create limitation. They use it to create lack. They use it to create suffering because they don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand that every time they say, I, and something negative follows, they're decreeing that negativity in their lives. They're using God's name to create the opposite of abundance. But now that you know, now that you understand, you can use this power consciously. You can use this power to create abundance. You can use this power to manifest wealth. You can use this power to transform your reality. Because I am rich is not a lie. It's not a pretense. It's a decree. It's a declaration of identity. It's an assumption of reality. When you say I'm rich, you're not trying to convince yourself. You're not making a positive statement. You're using my name. You're activating creative power. You're decreeing a new reality. And the universe, recognizing that name, responding to that power, obeying that decree, immediately begins rearranging circumstances to reflect that declaration. This is not magic. This is not superstition. This is living theology. This is the principle that underlies all creation. I said, let there be light, and there was light. I didn't ask. I didn't wait. I decreed. And when you say, I am rich, you are doing exactly the same. You are decreeing, you are creating, you are manifesting. If this revelation touches your heart, like this video now and subscribe to the channel to receive more divine truths. But I need to warn you, the power of I am works both ways. If you use it to create abundance, you create abundance. If you use it to create lack, you create lack. So you need to be careful what you say after I am. You need to be conscious. You need to be intentional. Because every statement is a decree, every affirmation is a creation. How many times a day do you say, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I'm broke, I'm unlucky? Each of these statements is a decree that creates this reality. Each of these statements is a use of my name to manifest limitation. And then you wonder why your life doesn't change, why you're still stuck, why abundance doesn't come. But from now on, change. From now on, use the power of I am consciously. Decree I am rich, I am abundant, I am prosperous, I am blessed, I am favored, I am the one who receives money easily. And when you decree this, when you use my name in this way, when you activate this power consciously, manifestation is inevitable. Because I am is not just words, it's identity. It's who you are. It's not what you want to be, it's what you assume to be. And the universe responds to identity, not desire. It responds to decree, not demand. It responds to I am, not I want. And when you understand this, when you truly understand the power you have, your life changes completely. So from now on, watch what you say after I am. Watch your decrees. Watch your identity statements, because each one is creating your reality. Each one is manifesting your future. Each one is using the most powerful name in the universe, my name, the name I placed within you. I am rich. Say this now, feel this now, embrace this now, not as a future desire, but as a present reality, not as a hope, but as a certainty, not as an empty affirmation, but as a divine decree. Because when you use the power of I am correctly, when you decree your abundance, when you embrace your wealth, manifestation happens quickly, 2 days or less. Because you are using the power that created the universe, and that power knows no limits, it knows no impossibilities, it knows no delays, it only creates, it only manifests, it only brings into existence what you decree. I am the most powerful name, the most absolute power, and it is within you now. Now I will give you the exact decrees, the precise words, the declarations you will use to manifest abundance. They are not suggestions, they are instructions. They are not options, they are divine commands. And when you use them correctly, when you decree them with faith and feeling, manifestation is guaranteed. First, stop saying I want to be rich. When you say I want, you're declaring you don't have it. You're declaring absence. You're living in a future that never arrives. Because wanting is a perpetual state of not having. While you want, you don't have. While you desire, you don't possess. While you wait, you don't receive. Wanting keeps you in a state of lack. Stop saying, I need money. When you say, I need, you're declaring lack. You're affirming that something is missing. You're living in a state of lack consciousness, and lack attracts more need. Need attracts more need. Need keeps you stuck in the cycle of not having. Because the universe responds to the state you declare, not the state you desire. Stop saying, I hope to receive money. When you say, I hope, you're putting abundance in the future. You're postponing manifestation. You're living in perpetual waiting, and the waiting never ends, because while you wait, you don't have. While you wait, you don't possess. Hope without assumption is just desire in disguise. Now I will give you the correct decrees, the decrees that create, the decrees that manifest, the decrees that transform reality. Repeat after me now. Feel every word, inhabit every statement, accept each decree as absolute truth. I am rich, not I will be rich, not I want to be rich. I am rich, present, now, in this moment. This is your identity, this is your reality, this is your truth. When you declare I am rich, you are using God's name to create wealth. You are activating the law of assumption. You are manifesting abundance. I am abundant. Not that I need abundance, not that I seek abundance. I am abundant. Abundance is not something you seek outside. It is something you are within. It is not something that comes to you. It is something that flows from you. When you accept that you are abundant, you become a magnet for abundance. Because like attracts like. I am prosperous. Prosperity is not luck. It is not privilege. It is not chance. Prosperity is identity. It is a state of consciousness. It is vibration. And when you declare, I am prosperous, you are assuming that identity. You are inhabiting that state. You are rising to that vibration. And prosperity has no choice but to manifest itself. I am the one receiving money now, not tomorrow, not next week, now, this moment. Money is flowing to you now. It's moving toward you now. It's manifesting in your life now. When you decree this, when you feel this, when you live from this certainty, the universe accelerates manifestation. I am financially favored. Favor isn't something you deserve. It's something you assume. It's not something you earn. It's something you decree. When you assume you are favored, when you live with that certainty, when you inhabit that state, doors open, opportunities appear, paths reveal themselves, because favor follows assumption. I am blessed with infinite abundance, not limited abundance, not sufficient abundance, infinite abundance, because I am infinite, because my resources are infinite, because my capacity to provide is infinite. And when you embrace this, when you decree this, when you live from it, abundance flows without limit. Money flows to me easily and constantly, not with difficulty, not occasionally, easily and constantly. This is the natural flow. This is the normal state. This is the reality for those who live in the vibration of abundance. And when you decree this, when you assume this, when you feel this, the flow begins immediately. Now, these decrees are not to be repeated mechanically. They are not empty mantras. They are not empty affirmations. Each decree needs to be charged with emotion. Each declaration needs to be inhabited with certainty. Each affirmation needs to be felt as absolute truth, because the power is not in the words. The power is in the conviction behind the words. When you declare, I am rich, you need to feel the gratitude of those who actually have money. You need to feel the relief of those who have no financial worries. You need to feel the freedom of those who can do whatever they want. This feeling is what activates the decree. This feeling is what creates the manifestation. This feeling is what transforms the declaration into reality. So, from now on, use these decrees daily. Use them upon waking. Use them throughout the day. Use them before bed. Repeat them with feeling. Decree them with certainty. Inhabit them with faith. And watch as your reality begins to change. Watch as money begins to flow. Watch as abundance manifests. Because the right decrees, charged with the right feeling, always create the right reality. Always, without exception, without fail. It is law, it is power, it is creation in motion. I am rich. Decree now, feel now, manifest now. Right now, a transformation is happening within you. It's not a future transformation, it's happening now. Your identity is shifting, your consciousness is expanding, your self is rising, because you are no longer who you were 10 minutes ago. You are no longer the person who started listening to this audio. Something has changed. Something has awakened. Something has been activated within you. You are no longer the observer of abundance. You are no longer the one looking from the outside. You are no longer the one waiting for money to arrive. You have become the center of abundance. You have become the magnet. You have become the source. Abundance is not out there waiting for you. Abundance is within you, radiating outward. This is your new identity. Before you asked, now you decree. Before you waited, now you assume. Before you doubted, now you are certain. Before you were the person who needed money, now you are the person who attracts money. Before you lived in a vibration of lack, now you live in a vibration of abundance. This change is not small. This change is total. This change is definitive. Your financial identity is not determined by your bank account. It is not determined by your salary. It is not determined by your current circumstances. Your financial identity is determined by your consciousness, by what you assume to be true about yourself, by the state you inhabit. And right now, you are inhabiting a new state, a state of wealth, a state of abundance, a state of prosperity. When you change your identity, you change everything, because identity determines your thoughts. Thoughts determine your feelings. Feelings determine your actions. Actions determine your results. So when you change your identity at its root, everything else changes automatically. You don't have to force it. You don't have to fight it. You just have to be. You just have to inhabit the new identity. And what is your new identity? You are rich. You are abundant. You are prosperous. You are favored. You are blessed. You are the one who receives money easily. You are the one who constantly attracts opportunities. You are the one who lives in financial freedom. This is not fantasy. This is not illusion. This is your true identity. The identity I placed within you from the beginning. Poverty was never your true identity. Lack was never who you truly are. Scarcity was never your natural state. It was all programming. It was conditioning. It was limiting beliefs. But now you are awakening. Now you are remembering. Now you are returning to your original identity. The identity of abundance, the identity of prosperity, the identity of wealth. If you feel this transformation happening within you now, enjoy this video and seal your new identity of abundance. And when you inhabit this new identity, everything changes. The way you walk changes. The way you talk changes. The way you think changes. The way you feel changes. Because you're not pretending to be rich. You are rich. You're not trying to be abundant. You are abundant. You're not expecting to be prosperous. You are prosperous. That's the difference between assertion and assumption. Assertion tries to convince. Assumption simply is. And the universe responds to being, not trying. Responds to identity, not desire. Responds to the I am, not the I want. That's why identity transformation is the most important step. More important than techniques, more important than visualizations, more important than rituals. Because when identity shifts, everything else follows naturally. So who are you now? Not who you were, not who you will be. Who are you now, in this moment? I will tell you who you are. You are a child of God. You are created in the image and likeness of the Creator. You bear the most powerful name in the universe. You are a living decree. You are manifestation in action. You are abundance incarnate. This is your true identity. And when you live from this identity, when you walk in this consciousness, when you inhabit this state, money has no choice but to flow to you. Opportunities have no choice but to appear. Abundance has no choice but to manifest. Because there is alignment, because there is resonance, because there is compatibility between who you are and what you are manifesting. Most people try to change their circumstances without changing their identity. You try to attract money while identifying as poor. You try to manifest abundance while feeling deprived. And that's why you fail. Because there's internal conflict, there's dissonance, there's incompatibility. But you won't make that mistake. Because you've already changed your identity. You already embrace abundance. You're already rich. And now that identity is established, now that consciousness is elevated, now that the state is inhabited, let's move on to practical techniques. Let's move on to visualization. Let's move on to the nightly ritual. Let's move on to the tools that will accelerate manifestation. But always remember, techniques are secondary. Identity is primary. Techniques amplify. Identity creates. Techniques accelerate. Identity manifests. Then you maintain this new identity, inhabit this new state, live from this new consciousness, and watch how everything changes, 2 days or less. Because when the identity is one of wealth, the manifestation of money is inevitable. Now I'm going to teach you the most powerful manifestation technique, the technique Neville Goddard used to create fortunes, the technique I use to create worlds. And this technique is called living in the end. Don't imagine the path. Don't visualize the process. Don't worry about the means. Imagine the end. Live as if it's already happened. Inhabit the reality of those who have already received. Most people visualize it wrong. They imagine receiving the money. They imagine the moment it arrives. They imagine opening the envelope. They imagine seeing the transfer, and that keeps the money in the future. It keeps you in anticipation. It keeps you waiting, because you're imagining the process of receiving, not the state of already having it. And while you imagine receiving, you assume you don't yet have it. But when you imagine it from the end, everything changes. You don't imagine receiving the money. You imagine having already received it. You don't imagine the moment of arrival. You imagine living with the money already in your account. You don't imagine the transition. You imagine the outcome. And that difference is everything. Because imagining the end is assuming it has already happened. It's living in the desired reality. It's inhabiting the state of someone who already has. So how do you do it? Simple. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine a brief scene that implies you've already received the money. Look at your bank statement with the amount you want. Don't imagine the money coming in. Imagine the statement already showing the balance. It's already there. It's already yours. It's already happened. Feel the gratitude. Feel the relief. Feel the certainty of someone who already has it. Or imagine making a purchase without worry. See the payment being approved. Feel the freedom of those who can afford it. Feel the peace of mind of those who have money. Don't imagine getting the money to pay. Imagine already having the money and paying easily. Do you see the difference? It's not the process. It's the end. It's not the journey. It's the destination. It's not the how. It's the result. Share this video now with someone who needs to learn how to correctly visualize and manifest abundance. This technique works because the subconscious doesn't distinguish between reality and imagination. When you vividly imagine, when you feel deeply, when you fully inhabit the scene, the subconscious accepts it as real. And when the subconscious accepts it as real, it begins to work to manifest it into physical reality. It begins to attract opportunities. It begins to open pathways. You begin to organize circumstances, because for the subconscious, it has already happened, and it simply brings the external into alignment with the internal. Now I'm going to teach you exactly how to create the perfect scene, the scene that will program your subconscious, the scene that will manifest money. And the first rule is this: the scene needs to be short, very short, between 10 and 30 seconds, no more. Most people make mistakes here. They try to create long films. They try to imagine the whole story. They try to visualize every detail of the process. And this disperses the energy. It weakens the power. It dilutes the manifestation. The short scene is powerful because it's focused, because it's intense, because it's repeatable. You can repeat a 20-second scene 10 times in a row. You can saturate your subconscious with it. You can engrave it deeply into your consciousness. But a long 10-minute visualization, you get tired, you get distracted, you lose focus, and the manifestation weakens. So which scene to choose? It needs to be a scene that implies you've already received the money, not a scene of receiving, a scene of already having it. Let me give you specific examples. Imagine looking at your phone, you open the bank app, you see the statement, and there's the amount, the exact amount you want. Don't imagine the money coming in. Imagine the balance already there. It's already happened. It's already yours. Feel the gratitude, feel the relief, feel the quiet joy of having. You don't scream, you don't jump, you just feel that deep peace, that quiet certainty, that inner smile of knowing you're financially secure. This scene lasts 15 seconds, but those 15 seconds, repeated with feeling, create the manifestation. Another scene. Imagine you're in a store. You see something you want to buy, something you couldn't afford before. But now you pick it up, you take it to the counter, you hand over your card, the payment is approved, and you feel that freedom, that peace of mind of being able to pay without worry. Don't imagine getting the money to buy it. Imagine already having the money and buying it easily. 20 seconds, simple, powerful, effective. Another scene. Imagine talking to someone close, a friend, a family member, and you say, naturally, I just received an unexpected sum of money. You don't say it with exaggerated surprise. You say it with the naturalness of someone who's used to receiving, as if it were normal, as if it were expected, and you feel gratitude. You feel the joy of sharing good news. 15 seconds, but charged with reality. Another scene. Imagine paying a bill that was worrying you. You see the invoice, you see the amount, and you pay. No stress, no fear, no worry. You just pay, and you feel the relief. You feel the peace. You feel the security of someone who has enough money. This scene is especially powerful if you have bills that worry you, because it transforms worry into peace. It transforms fear into certainty. If you want to receive more powerful techniques like this, subscribe to the channel now and activate the bell so you don't miss any teachings. The key isn't the complexity of the scene. The key is simplicity and repetition. A simple scene repeated with feeling is 1,000 times more powerful than a complex visualization done once. Because repetition imprints itself on the subconscious. Repetition creates conviction. Repetition transforms imagination into supposition. And here's the secret few know. The scene doesn't have to be the exact way the money will arrive. It doesn't have to be prophetic. It doesn't have to predict the future. The scene just needs to imply that you already have the money. Because the subconscious doesn't care about external details. The subconscious cares about your internal state. And when you assume the state of someone who already has it, the universe finds 1,000 ways to manifest it. So you choose a scene now, a simple scene, a short scene, a scene that implies you've already received the money, and you'll repeat this scene several times a day, when you wake up, during the day, before you go to sleep. You close your eyes for 20 seconds, imagine the scene, feel the emotion, inhabit the reality, and then open your eyes and go about your day. You don't need to spend hours visualizing. You don't need to perform complicated rituals. You don't need perfect conditions. Just 20 seconds, several times a day, with feeling, with certainty, with faith. And this simple practice, done consistently, creates manifestation. Because you're programming your subconscious, you're changing your vibration, you're embracing abundance. And remember, the scene is just a tool. The real power lies in the feeling. It lies in the assumption. It lies in inhabiting the state of someone who already has it. The scene helps you get there. It helps you feel. It helps you embrace. But the power isn't in the image. The power lies in the state the image creates, in the feeling the scene generates, in the certainty the visualization produces. So don't worry about creating the perfect scene. Don't worry about imagining every detail. Worry about feeling. Worry about assuming. Worry about inhabiting the state of abundance. And when you do, when you truly feel it, manifestation happens. 2 days or less, because the programmed subconscious works quickly, because firm assumption knows no delay, because the law always works. Now, I will reveal to you the secret within the secret, the core of all manifestation. And this secret lies in 3 words that Neville Goddard repeated throughout his life. Feeling is the secret, not visualizing, not imagining, not thinking, feeling. Because feeling is the language the universe understands. Feeling is the vibration that creates reality. Feeling is the power that manifests. You can imagine the perfect scene. You can see every detail clearly. You can visualize the bank statement, the purchase, the payment. But if you feel nothing, if there's no emotion, if there's no life in the visualization, you're not manifesting. You're just daydreaming. Because an image without feeling is empty. A visualization without emotion is sterile. A scene without life doesn't create. What creates it is the feeling. When you imagine the bank statement and feel the deep gratitude of someone who truly has money. When you visualize the purchase and feel the genuine freedom of someone who can afford it. When you see the scene and feel the true relief of someone who is financially secure. This feeling is what programs the subconscious. This feeling is what changes the vibration. This feeling is what manifests reality. So how do you access the feeling? How do you feel something that hasn't yet physically happened? Through anticipated gratitude. Give thanks now for the money you don't yet see. Feel gratitude as if it had already arrived. Don't fake gratitude. Inhabit gratitude. Live gratitude. Because when you truly give thanks for something, you assume you already have it. And assumption creates manifestation. Close your eyes now. Take a deep breath and feel. Don't try to see. Don't try to imagine. Just feel. Feel what it would be like to have the money in your account now. Feel the relief. Feel the peace. Feel the security. Feel the freedom. Feel the gratitude. Let that feeling fill you completely. Let that emotion take over you. Because that feeling is the seed, and the seed always bears fruit. And here's the truth that few understand. The universe doesn't respond to your words. It doesn't respond to your visualizations. It doesn't respond to your thoughts. The universe responds to your feelings. It responds to your emotional vibration. It responds to the state you inhabit. And when you inhabit the feeling of abundance, when you live in the emotion of those who already have, when you feel the gratitude of those who have already received, manifestation is automatic. It's inevitable. It's guaranteed. Because feeling is the secret. Always has been. Always will be. Now I'm going to teach you something crucial. Something that determines the speed of your manifestation. And that's your mental diet. Just as you watch what you eat to keep your body healthy, you need to watch what you think to keep your vibration high. Because thoughts create, thoughts manifest, thoughts determine your reality. Throughout the day, you'll have thoughts of lack. You'll think, I don't have any money. You'll wonder how I'm going to pay this bill. You'll think, I'll never get out of this situation. These thoughts are normal. They're automatic. They're the result of years of programming. But now that you know the power of thoughts, you can't let them go unnoticed. You can't let them create your reality. But here's the secret. Don't fight negative thoughts. Don't try to suppress them. Don't condemn yourself for having them, because fighting creates resistance, and resistance creates persistence. The more you fight a thought, the stronger it becomes. The more you try not to think about lack, the more you think about lack. So don't fight it, just observe. When the thought of lack arises, when fear arises, when doubt arises, stop. Breathe. Observe the thought as if you were a spectator. Watch it pass like a cloud in the sky. Don't identify with it. Don't say, "This is me." Say, "This is just a thought." And then, calmly, surely, firmly, say, "This is no longer my truth." This sentence is powerful. This is no longer my truth. You're not denying that the thought appeared. You're not pretending it doesn't exist. You're refusing to give it power. You're refusing to accept it as reality. You're refusing to let it create your future. And after saying this, you return to the assumption. You return to the decree. You return to the "I am rich." If you are committed to this mental diet, comment now, "I embrace my abundance," and make this commitment to yourself. This practice needs to be consistent. It's not something you do once. It's something you do every time a thought of lack arises. And in the beginning, it will arise a lot, because the mind is accustomed to thinking about lack. It's programmed for scarcity. But every time you observe, every time you say, "This is no longer my truth," every time you return to the assumption, you are reprogramming. You are changing the vibration. You are creating a new reality. And over time, the thoughts of lack diminish. The vibration of abundance becomes natural, and manifestation accelerates. Now I'm going to teach you how to live your day, how to walk, how to breathe, how to speak, how to think. Because assumption isn't just a mental exercise you do in the morning. Assumption is a state you inhabit all day long. It's a way of being. It's an identity you live. When you wake up, don't wake up thinking, "I need to get money today." Wake up thinking, "I'm rich." When you walk, don't walk with your shoulders slumped, your head down, with the energy of someone defeated. Walk tall, walk confidently, walk like someone with money in the bank. You're not faking it, you're embracing it. You're inhabiting the identity of abundance. When you speak, watch your words. Don't say, "I can't afford that." Say, "I haven't chosen to buy that yet." Don't say, "I'm broke." Say, "I'm reorganizing my finances." Don't say, "I never have money." Say, "Money flows to me constantly." Do you see the difference? They're not just pretty words. They're decrees, they're assumptions, they're vibrations that create reality. When you breathe, breathe with the peace of someone who is financially secure, not with the anxiety of someone who doesn't know how to pay the bills. When you think about the future, don't think with fear. Think with positive expectation. Think with certainty. Think like someone who knows money is on the way. If you're feeling this transformation in your way of living, watch this video now and consolidate this new way of being. And here's the secret. You don't need to make major external changes. You need to make the internal change. And when internal change happens, it naturally reflects externally, in the way you walk, in the way you talk, in the way you relate to money, in the way you live. And this change, this new way of being, is what attracts abundance, because you live from the end. You live as someone who already has, and the universe responds to who you are, not who you pretend to be. Now, I'm going to reveal to you a truth that changes everything. A truth that explains why some people manifest quickly and others never do. And that truth is this: life doesn't give you what you ask for occasionally. Life gives you what you sustain with repeated emotion. It's not a momentary desire, it's the dominant state. It's not a morning affirmation, it's a consistent vibration. You can declare, I am rich for 5 minutes in the morning. But if you spend the rest of the day feeling fear, feeling lack, feeling worry, what is the dominant emotion? Fear, lack, worry. And that's what the universe will manifest. Because the universe responds to the dominant state, not the occasional state. It responds to the emotion you hold, not the emotion you visit. That's why consistency is everything. That's why a mental diet is crucial. That's why you need to monitor your thoughts and feelings throughout the day. Because every moment you spend in the vibration of abundance is a moment you're creating abundance. And every moment you spend in the vibration of lack is a moment you're creating lack. There are no neutral moments. You're always creating, always manifesting, always attracting. Think of it like voting. Every thought is a vote. Every feeling is a vote. Every emotion is a vote. And at the end of the day, the emotion that received the most votes is the one that manifests. If you voted for abundance 100 times and lack 1,000 times, lack wins. If you voted for certainty 10 times and doubt 100 times, doubt wins. The universe counts the votes and manifests the winner. So what is your dominant emotion? If you honestly observe your day, how much time do you spend feeling abundance, and how much time do you spend feeling lack? The answer to this question explains your current financial reality, and changing this ratio creates your new reality. The longer you dwell in the emotion of abundance, the faster you manifest abundance. The more consistent the vibration, the more certain the manifestation. And here's the good news. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be in the vibration of abundance 100% of the time. You just need abundance to be your dominant state. Let it be the emotion you hold the longest. Let it be the vibration you visit most frequently. And every day you practice, every day you watch, every day you return to assumption, the ratio changes. Abundance becomes more dominant, and manifestation accelerates. That's why it's not enough to do the exercises. It's not enough to visualize morning and night. You need to live the entire day in the vibration of abundance. You need to sustain the emotion of those who already have. You need to maintain the certainty of those who have already received. And when you do this, when the emotion of abundance becomes your dominant state, manifestation is rapid, 2 days or less, because repeated emotion creates reality, always, without exception. It's a mathematical law, it's spiritual physics, it's divine guarantee. Now, I'm going to reveal to you the most powerful moment to manifest. The moment when your subconscious is completely open. The moment when programming happens most deeply. The moment when you can plant the seeds that will germinate while you sleep. And that moment is before you fall asleep. The last minutes before sleep takes you. This is the sacred moment. This is the portal. This is the final window of opportunity. There's a special state that occurs between wakefulness and sleep, a state scientists call hypnagogic. In this state, the conscious mind begins to shut down. The critical mind begins to fall asleep. Defenses begin to fall, and the subconscious becomes completely exposed, completely receptive, completely open to suggestions. It's as if the door to the subconscious, which is normally guarded, is thrown wide open. And in that moment, everything you think, everything you feel, everything you imagine goes straight into your subconscious, unfiltered, without resistance, without questioning. The subconscious accepts it as truth, accepts it as reality, accepts it as instruction. And all night long, while you sleep, the subconscious works with this programming. It reorganizes, it processes, it manifests. That's why the last thoughts before bed are crucial. They're decisive. They're the most powerful of the entire day. If you fall asleep thinking about problems, debts, and lack, You're programming your subconscious to create more problems, more debts, and more lack. If you fall asleep fearful, worried, or anxious, you're instructing your subconscious to manifest more reasons to be afraid, worried, and anxious. But if you fall asleep in the vibration of abundance, if your last thoughts are of gratitude, if your last emotion is of certainty that you've already received, you are programming your subconscious to manifest abundance. You are giving clear instructions. You are planting the right seeds. And those seeds germinate at night. They grow while you sleep. And they manifest during the day. Neville Goddard knew this. He taught that the state in which you fall asleep determines what you manifest. He said that if you could control only one thing in your life, it should be the state in which you fall asleep, because that state programs everything. That state creates everything. That state determines everything. And he proved this time and time again. He manifested fortunes. He manifested opportunities. He manifested entire realities, all using the power of the nightly ritual. Share this video now with someone who needs to know the power of the nightly ritual to transform their financial life. So what do most people do? Most people go to bed worried. They think about bills. They think about problems. They think about what's missing, and they fall asleep in that state. And then they wonder why life doesn't change, why the problems continue, why the lack persists. You don't realize that you're programming your subconscious every night to create exactly that. You're using the most powerful moment of the day to manifest the opposite of what you desire, but you won't do that. You will use the moment before bed consciously, intentionally, powerfully. You will program your subconscious for abundance. You will fall asleep in the vibration of wealth. You will plant the right seeds. And while you sleep, while your body rests, your subconscious will work. It will reorganize your reality. It will attract opportunities. It will open pathways. It will manifest money. Because the subconscious never sleeps. The subconscious works 24 hours a day. And at night, when the conscious mind is turned off, the subconscious has complete freedom. It has complete power. You have complete access, and it works with the last instructions it received, with the last thoughts, with the last feelings, with the last programming. So this nightly ritual isn't optional. It's not something you do when you remember. It's essential. It's fundamental. It's the most important practice of all, because it uses the most powerful moment, because it accesses the subconscious directly, because it programs while there's no resistance. And programming done in this state is profound, it's lasting, it's effective. So from today on, you will never again go to sleep without performing this ritual. You will never again waste this sacred moment. You will never again let your subconscious be randomly programmed by the day's thoughts. You will take control. You will program intentionally. You will use the power of the hypnagogic state to manifest abundance. And when you do this consistently, when you fall asleep in the vibration of wealth every day, manifestation accelerates dramatically, because you are using the most powerful moment of the day. The moment when the subconscious is completely open, the moment when creation happens most profoundly, the sacred moment, the portal, the master key to manifestation. Now I'm going to teach you exactly how to perform the nightly ritual, step by step, simple, clear, powerful. This is the ritual you'll perform every night from now on. No exceptions, no excuses, because this ritual is the key that unlocks the door to rapid manifestation. This ritual is what transforms 2 days or less of a promise into reality. When you're in bed, ready to sleep, don't pick up your phone, don't watch the news, don't read messages, don't fill your mind with random information. This moment is sacred. This moment is yours. This moment is for programming your subconscious. So you turn everything off, close your eyes, and take 3 deep breaths, slowly, deeply. Let your body relax, let your mind calm down, let yourself enter that state between waking and sleeping. Now, bring to mind the scene you chose. The short scene that implies you've already received the money. You see the bank statement, or you make the purchase, or you pay the bill, or you share the good news. Whatever your scene, bring it to mind now. But don't just see it, feel it, inhabit the scene, live the scene as if it were happening now, as if it were real, as if it had already happened. See the details, feel the emotions, hear the sounds, make the scene as vivid as possible. And as you see it, as you feel it, as you inhabit it, let gratitude fill you. Deep gratitude, genuine gratitude, gratitude from someone who truly received it. Don't fake gratitude. Feel gratitude, because the subconscious recognizes the difference, and only true gratitude programs, only genuine emotion creates. Repeat the scene twice, 3 times, as many times as necessary until you feel it's engraved, until you feel your subconscious has accepted it, until you feel that peace, that certainty, that deep knowing that it's done. And when you feel that, when the scene is alive within you, when gratitude is overflowing, let yourself fall asleep. Don't fight sleep. Don't try to stay awake. Let yourself go. Fall asleep to the scene. Fall asleep to gratitude. Fall asleep to certainty. If you are going to do this night ritual today, if you are going to fall asleep in the vibration of abundance, say 7777 now and activate the divine manifestation. And while you sleep, while your body rests, your subconscious works. It works with the programming you just created. It works with the scene you planted. It works with the emotion you felt. The subconscious doesn't question. It doesn't doubt. It doesn't analyze. It simply accepts and executes. It accepts the scene as reality, and it begins to reorganize your external life to match the internal reality. During the night, the subconscious processes, reorganizes, creates, attracts, opens paths, prepares opportunities, moves people, organizes circumstances, all to manifest what you've programmed, all to bring into physical reality what you've assumed as truth. And it does so effortlessly, without struggle, without resistance. Because the subconscious has access to resources the conscious mind can't even imagine. It has power that logic can't understand. It has capabilities that reason can't explain. So when you wake up in the morning, don't immediately wake up thinking about your problems. Don't jump out of bed with your worries. Stay for a few moments. Remember the scene. Remember the gratitude. Remember the certainty. And start the day from that state. Because how you start the day determines the day's vibration. And the day's vibration determines what you attract during the day. This nightly ritual isn't complicated. It doesn't require hours. It doesn't require special conditions. It only requires 10 to 15 minutes. It only requires intention. It only requires consistency. But these 10 to 15 minutes, done every night, create miracles. They create manifestations. They create transformations, because you're using the most powerful moment of the day. You're programming the subconscious directly. You're planting seeds in the most fertile soil. And here's the truth: if you do just this ritual, if you do nothing else during the day, but do this ritual every night, you will manifest. Because this ritual is so powerful, because this moment is so crucial, because the subconscious, programmed before bed, works at full power all night long and manifests always without fail. So commit now, decide now. From today on, every night, without exception, you will perform this ritual. You will review the scene. You will feel gratitude. You will fall asleep with certainty. And you will let your subconscious work. You will let the law work. You will let manifestation happen. Because this ritual is the bridge. It is the path. It is the key. Between where you are and where you want to be. Between lack and abundance. Between desire and manifestation. 10 to 15 minutes. Every night. And your life will change. 2 days or less. Because a correctly programmed subconscious manifests quickly. The ultimate secret of the nightly ritual is to literally fall asleep in the desired state. Don't fall asleep thinking about the desired state. Don't fall asleep wishing for the state. Fall asleep being the state. Fall asleep inhabiting the reality of those who already have. Fall asleep in the vibration of abundance. This is the difference between practicing the ritual and mastering the ritual. Between doing the exercise and creating the manifestation. When you review the scene, when you feel gratitude, when you inhabit the reality of abundance, don't return to normal thoughts before falling asleep. Don't let your mind wander back to problems. Don't let your last thoughts be worries. Stay in the scene, stay in gratitude, stay in the state, and let sleep take you while you're in that state. Let your consciousness dissolve while you inhabit abundance, because the exact moment you fall asleep is the most powerful moment of all. It's the moment the programming is sealed. It's the moment the final instructions are given to the subconscious. It's the moment that determines what the subconscious will work with throughout the night. If you fall asleep in abundance, the subconscious works with abundance. If you fall asleep in gratitude, the subconscious works with gratitude. If you fall asleep in certainty, the subconscious works with certainty. And all night long, while your body rests, while your conscious mind is off, your subconscious is active. You're working, you're creating, you're manifesting. It doesn't stop, it doesn't rest, it doesn't sleep. The subconscious works tirelessly with the last programming it received, with the last state you inhabited, with the last emotion you felt. You think of the subconscious as a night gardener. You plant the seeds before bed, and during the night, the gardener waters, cares for, nourishes, makes the seeds germinate, and when you wake in the morning, the work has already begun. The roots are already growing. Manifestation is already in motion. You don't see it yet, but it's happening in the invisible, in the world of causes, in the realm where everything is created before it appears in the physical. That's why consistency in this ritual is crucial. 1 night creates movement. 2 nights create momentum. 3 nights create strength. 7 nights create transformation. And when you do this every night, when you fall asleep in abundance every night, when you consistently program your subconscious, manifestation becomes inevitable. Because you're using the most powerful moment of the day, every day, to create the same reality. If you want to master this ritual and receive more divine teachings, like this video and subscribe to the channel now. And here's something few people know. The subconscious doesn't distinguish between past, present, and future. To the subconscious, everything is now. So when you fall asleep in the reality of having already received the money, the subconscious accepts it as now, not as future, not as possibility, as present reality. And it immediately begins to align your external life with that internal reality. You begin to attract the right people. You begin to open the right opportunities. You begin to create the right circumstances. You begin to move the pieces on the board of your life. And you do so with an intelligence that surpasses the comprehension of the conscious mind, with a wisdom that logic cannot grasp, with a power that effort cannot. So don't underestimate this ritual. Don't think it's too simple to work. Don't let its simplicity fool you. The most powerful laws of the universe are simple. Gravity is simple. The law of sowing and reaping is simple. And the law of assumption is simple. But simple doesn't mean weak. Simple means pure. It means direct. It means powerful. So tonight, when you go to sleep, remember, this isn't just the end of the day. This is the most important moment of the day. This is the moment you program your future. This is the moment you plant the seeds of your abundance. So use it well, use it consciously, use it powerfully. Relive the scene, feel gratitude, inhabit abundance, and fall asleep in that state. Let sleep take you while you feel you already have, while you live in the desired reality, while you inhabit the vibration of wealth and trust. Trust that while you sleep, your subconscious works. Trust that the law is in motion. Trust that manifestation is happening. And when you wake up tomorrow, don't look for immediate results. Don't question whether it worked. Just keep going. Keep assuming. Keep feeling. Keep living from the end. Because manifestation takes time. But when you use the nightly ritual consistently, when you fall asleep in abundance every night, that time shortens dramatically, 2 days or less. Because the correctly programmed subconscious works quickly, because the law consistently applied manifests surely, because falling asleep in the desired state is the master key to conscious creation. Now, I need to warn you about the biggest block to manifestation, the obstacle that prevents more people from receiving than any other. And that obstacle is desperation, emotional urgency, desperate need. Because when you're desperate, when you feel extreme urgency, when need consumes you, you're at the lowest possible vibration. You're at the frequency that most drives money away. You're in the state that most blocks manifestation. Desperation is the antithesis of assumption. When you assume, you live as if you already have it. When you're desperate, you live as if you'll never have it. When you assume, you feel certainty. When you're desperate, you feel fear. When you assume, you are at peace. When you're desperate, you are in panic. And the universe responds to state, not desire. It responds to vibration, not need. I do not reward desperate effort. I reward vibrational alignment. I do not respond to urgent pleas. I respond to confident assumption. I do not manifest for those who desperately chase. I manifest for those who walk calmly in certainty. Because desperation is a vibration of extreme lack. It is the loudest declaration that you do not have. It is the most powerful affirmation of lack. Think about it. When you're desperate for money, what are you really feeling? Fear, panic, absolute lack. And this feeling, this vibration, this energy is what you're sending out into the universe. It's what you're decreeing. It's what you're manifesting. And the universe, which responds to the law, which obeys the vibration, which manifests the dominant state, gives you more reasons to be desperate. More lack, more fear, more panic. It's a vicious cycle. The more desperate you are, the more you push money away. The more you push money away, the more desperate you become. And the cycle continues. And manifestation never happens. Because desperation and abundance cannot coexist. They are opposing frequencies. They are incompatible vibrations. They are mutually exclusive states. So, what do you do when you urgently need money? When bills are overdue? When the pressure is real? When the need is genuine? Here is the truth that will set you free. You don't need urgency. You need silence. You don't need desperation. You need certainty. You don't need panic. You need peace. Because inner silence attracts, certainty manifests, peace allows. Emotional urgency creates resistance. It creates blockage. It creates separation between you and money. It's like trying to hold on to water. The more you squeeze, the more it escapes. The more you force it, the more it resists. The more desperate you become, the further it moves away. Because desperation is force, and force creates counterforce. Desperation is pressure, and pressure creates resistance. But when you let go, when you relax, when you trust, when you accept it as yours and simply wait with certainty, resistance disappears, the blockage dissolves, the path opens, and the money flows. Not because you no longer need it, but because you've changed your vibration. Not because the need has disappeared, but because desperation has transformed into certainty. Do you see rich people? Observe how they relate to money. There's no desperation, there's no urgency, there's no panic. There's calm, a certainty, a peace, because they know the money is coming. Because they trust there's always more. Because they live in the vibration of abundance. And that vibration attracts more abundance. That certainty creates more certainty. That peace allows for more flow. And you can have that same vibration, even if your account is empty, even if the bills are overdue, even if the pressure is real. Because vibration doesn't depend on circumstances. Vibration depends on assumption, and you can assume abundance even in apparent lack. You can feel certainty even in apparent uncertainty. You can have peace even in apparent chaos. How? Through faith, through acceptance, by letting go of control and trusting the law. By stopping running desperately and starting to walk confidently. By transforming urgency into certainty, panic into peace, fear into faith. And when you make this transformation, when you shift from desperation to acceptance, everything changes. The universe stops seeing someone desperate who doesn't have anything, and starts seeing someone confident who admits they do. The vibration changes, the frequency rises, the blockage dissolves, and the money starts flowing. Not because the external situation has changed, but because the internal state has transformed. And the external always, always, always follows the internal. It's the law. It's inevitable. It's guaranteed. So if you're desperate right now, breathe, stop, let go, trust. Assume the money is already on its way. Assume the solution already exists. Assume everything will be okay. And let desperation turn into certainty. Let urgency turn into peace. Let fear turn into faith. Because when you do this, when you truly do this, manifestation accelerates, the blockage is removed, and the money comes, 2 days or less, because certainty without desperation manifests quickly. There are 2 paths before you, 2 states you can choose, 2 ways of relating to manifestation. The first is despair. The second is silence. Despair is noise, it's agitation, it's rushing, it's frantic effort, it's trying to force, it's trying to control, it's trying to make something happen by force. Silence is peace, it's stillness, it's calm, certainty. It's knowing without needing to prove, it's trusting without needing to see. It's allowing instead of forcing. Desperation screams, silence whispers, desperation runs, silence walks, desperation grabs, silence receives, desperation fights, silence allows. And the universe responds to silence, always, because silence is the vibration of faith. Silence is the frequency of certainty. Silence is the state of assumption. When you are in inner silence, even when there is a storm outside, you are aligned. When there is peace within, even when there is chaos outside, you are on the right frequency. When there is certainty in your heart, even when there is doubt in your mind, you are in the state that manifests. Because silence is not the absence of sound. Silence is the absence of resistance. It is the absence of struggle. It is the absence of doubt. How do you cultivate this silence? How do you find this peace when the bills are due? How do you maintain this certainty when the pressure is real? Through surrender, not a surrender of giving up, a surrender of trust, not a surrender of defeat, a surrender of faith, not a surrender of weakness, a surrender of power. Because when you surrender to the law, when you trust the process, when you let go of control, silence comes naturally. Desperation comes from trying to control everything, from trying to do everything alone, from trying to force the outcome. But silence comes from knowing you don't need to control, from knowing you're not alone, from knowing the universe is working in your favor. And this knowledge, this trust, this faith creates inner silence, and inner silence creates outer manifestation. Think of someone who has true faith, not superficial religious faith, deep faith, unshakable faith, faith that knows. This person has inner silence, they have peace, they have certainty, even when circumstances dictate otherwise, even when logic doesn't make sense, even when others doubt. There is a silence, a stillness, a confidence that needs no external validation. If you are understanding the power of inner silence, watch this video now and cement this truth in your heart. And this silence is magnetic. It attracts, it manifests, it creates. Because silence is the absence of resistance. And when there is no resistance, the flow happens naturally. When there is no struggle, manifestation happens easily. When there is no doubt, creation happens quickly. Silence removes all obstacles. It dissolves all blockages. It opens all pathways. So how do you practice silence? It's not about not speaking. It's about not resisting. It's not about not acting. It's about not forcing. It's not about not thinking. It's about not doubting. Silence is an internal state. It's a posture of the soul. It's a vibration of being. And you can cultivate it through breathing, through meditation, through repeated assumption, through constantly returning to certainty. When despair comes, and it will, stop, breathe, and return to silence. When urgency tempts you, and it will, stop, center yourself, and return to peace. When panic knocks on the door, and it will, stop, remember, and return to certainty. Because silence isn't something you achieve once, it's something you choose constantly. It's something you practice repeatedly. It's something you intentionally inhabit. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. The more you choose silence over despair, the easier it becomes. The more you return to peace over panic, the more automatic it becomes. Until one day, silence is your natural state. Peace is your dominant vibration. Certainty is your constant reality. And on that day, manifestation becomes automatic, because you permanently reside in the state you create. Look at nature. Do you see desperation? Do you see the tree straining to grow? Do you see the flower struggling to bloom? Do you see the river running desperately? No, there is silence, a natural flow, an implicit trust. The tree grows in silence, the flower blooms in peace, the river flows in certainty, because nature trusts in the law. Nature does not resist the process. Nature allows manifestation, and you are part of nature. You are governed by the same laws. You have access to the same power. You can have the same silence, the same flow, the same trust. Just stop fighting. Just stop forcing. Just stop despairing. And you start trusting, start allowing, start inhabiting the silence. So decide now. Will you choose desperation or silence? Will you choose panic or peace? Will you choose urgency or certainty? The choice is yours, but the law is clear. Desperation blocks. Silence liberates. Urgency drives away. Peace attracts. Panic resists. Certainty allows. Choose silence. Inhabit peace. Live in certainty. And watch how money flows. how opportunities appear, how abundance manifests. Because silence is the path, silence is power, silence is the key. Now I'm going to reveal to you what really attracts money. It's not effort, it's not hard work. It's not rushing, it's not struggle. What attracts money is vibrational alignment. It's being on the same frequency as abundance. It's vibrating at the same energy as wealth. It's being in harmony with the flow of money. And when there's alignment, manifestation is automatic, it's natural, it's inevitable. Vibrational alignment is when your inner self matches your desire, when what you feel inside is in harmony with what you desire outside, when your emotional vibration is tuned to the frequency of abundance. There is no conflict, there is no resistance, there is no dissonance, there is only flow, there is only harmony, there is only alignment. How do you know if you're aligned? It's simple. You feel peace, you feel certainty, you feel a calm confidence. You don't need to force it, you don't need to fight, you don't need to desperately strive. Actions flow naturally. Ideas come easily. Opportunities appear synchronistically, because when you're aligned, the universe conspires in your favor. Doors open, paths reveal themselves, the right people appear. But when you're misaligned, everything is a struggle, everything is effort, everything is resistance. You push hard and nothing happens. You work hard and see no results. You rush and don't move forward, because misalignment creates friction, it creates blockage, it creates separation between you and what you desire. And it doesn't matter how hard you try. If there's no alignment, there's no manifestation. So how do you create alignment? Not through doing, through being, not through external action. Through an internal state, not through effort, through assumption. When you assume you are rich, you are aligned with wealth. When you feel abundance, you are aligned with abundance. When you live from certainty, you are aligned with manifestation. Alignment is a state, not an action, and herein lies the truth that liberates. I don't reward desperate effort, I reward vibrational alignment. I don't respond to the quantity of work, I respond to the quality of vibration. I don't manifest for those who try hardest, I manifest for those who are most aligned. Because manifestation isn't about deserving, it's about vibrating. It's not about earning, it's about attracting. It's not about conquering, it's about allowing. Share this video now with someone who is desperately struggling and needs to understand the power of vibrational alignment. There's a huge difference between inspired action and desperate action. Inspired action comes from alignment. You feel an impulse, you feel an intuition, you sense the time is right, and you act effortlessly, without resistance, without doubt. And this action flows, it produces results, it opens doors, because it comes from alignment, it comes from connecting with the universal flow, it comes from being in tune with abundance. But desperate action comes from misalignment. It comes from fear, it comes from lack, it comes from urgency and forces and struggles, and you push yourself to exhaustion and it doesn't work. Because there's no alignment, because there's resistance, because you're swimming against the current instead of flowing with it, and it doesn't matter how hard you swim. If you're against the current, you're not going anywhere. So stop desperately striving. Stop trying to force results, stop fighting the current, and start aligning yourself. Start tuning your vibration, start harmonizing your inner self with your desire. And when there is alignment, the right action comes naturally. The right opportunity appears synchronistically. The right path reveals itself perfectly. Alignment is like tuning a radio. When you're on the right frequency, the music plays clearly. No static, no interference, no effort. But when you're off frequency, No matter how much you turn up the volume, no matter how much you adjust the knobs, you can't hear the music because there's no tuning, there's no alignment, there's no connection. And the frequency of abundance is the frequency of certainty. It's the frequency of peace. It's the frequency of gratitude. It's the frequency of those who already have. When you vibrate at this frequency, when you inhabit this state, when you live from this certainty, you are aligned. And when you are aligned, money flows to you. Not because you tried harder, but because you vibrated correctly. So check in now. Are you aligned or misaligned? Do you feel peace or panic? Do you feel certainty or doubt? Do you feel flow or resistance? If you feel peace, certainty, and flow, you are aligned. Continue, maintain that state, inhabit that vibration. If you feel panic, doubt, and resistance, you are misaligned. Stop, breathe, and return to alignment. Return to acceptance, return to certainty, because alignment is everything. It's the difference between manifesting and not manifesting, between attracting and repelling, between flowing and struggling. And when you're aligned, when you're truly on the frequency of abundance, manifestation happens quickly, 2 days or less, because there's no resistance, there's no blockage, there's no friction, there's only flow, there's only harmony, there's only alignment. And alignment always, always, always attracts manifestation. It's law, it's physics, it's divine guarantee. Now, I will free you from one of the biggest obstacles to manifestation, a blockage that holds millions of people back, a blockage that delays abundance, a blockage that interrupts the flow. And this blockage is the obsession with how, the need to know how the money will arrive, the need to control the means, the need to see the entire path before taking the first step. When you ask how it will happen, you're telling the universe that you don't trust it. You're declaring that you need to control it. You're stating that your limited mind needs to understand the infinite ways of the universe. And this need for control creates resistance, it creates blockage, it creates separation between you and manifestation. Because the how isn't your job. The how is mine. Your job is to embrace the end. It's to live as if you've already received. It's to inhabit the reality of abundance. It's to feel the gratitude of those who already have. That's all. That's enough. That's your role. My job is to orchestrate the means. It's to open the paths. It's to move the pieces. It's to create the opportunities. It's to bring the right people. It's to organize the circumstances. And I have infinite paths, infinite possibilities, infinite means. Your mind might see maybe 3 or 4 ways for money to arrive. A raise, a new job, a sale, a gift. But I see millions of ways. I see paths that don't even exist yet. I see opportunities that will be created. I see synchronicities that will happen. I see connections that will be made. And when you get caught up in the how your mind sees, you close the door to the millions of hows I see. When you assume money can only come through your job, you limit it. When you assume it can only come through a sale, you restrict it. When you assume it has to be a specific way, you block it. Because you're telling the universe, I don't trust your ways. I only trust the ways my limited mind can see. And the universe respects that and manifests within that limitation, or doesn't manifest at all. But when you let go of the how, when you say, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know it will, when you trust that the universe has ways you can't even imagine, when you open yourself to all possibilities, when you allow abundance to come from any direction, you open all doors, you remove all limitations, you allow all paths, and manifestation accelerates dramatically. If you want to learn more about how to let go of control and trust the divine process, subscribe to the channel now and receive more teachings. Think about it. If I told you a year ago how the money would arrive, through which person, through which opportunity, through which path, would you believe it? Probably not. Because your mind couldn't see that path yet. You couldn't imagine that possibility. You couldn't comprehend that synchronicity, but it happened. Because the universe isn't limited by your understanding. The universe doesn't need your approval. The universe simply manifests. So stop asking how. Stop trying to figure out the mean. Stop trying to control the process. Stop trying to see the whole path. Just accept the end. Just live as if you already have it. Just feel the gratitude of those who have already received it, and trust. Trust that I know the way. Trust that I see the possibilities. Trust that I will orchestrate it perfectly. And herein lies the liberating truth. When you let go of the how, when you stop trying to control, when you trust completely, manifestation happens in ways you never imagined. Money comes from unexpected directions. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. People appear synchronistically. Paths open mysteriously. And you look back and think, I never would have imagined it would be like this. I never would have planned this path. I never would have seen this possibility. And that's exactly why you shouldn't try to control the how, because your mind is limited, your vision is restricted, your understanding is small, but the universe is limitless. My vision is total. My understanding is infinite. And when you trust me instead of just yourself, when you open yourself to my ways instead of clinging to yours, when you allow me to orchestrate instead of trying to control, magic happens. So you decide now. Will you keep asking how? Will you keep trying to control the means? Will you keep limiting the possibilities, or will you let go? Will you trust? Will you allow? Will you assume the end and let me handle the means? The choice is yours, but the law is clear. When you let go of the how, when you trust the process, when you open yourself to all possibilities, manifestation accelerates. Doors open, paths reveal themselves, and the money comes. In unexpected ways, from unlikely directions, from paths you never imagined, but it comes. It always comes when you trust, when you let go, when you allow, 2 days or less. Because when there is no resistance to the how, there is no delay in manifestation. Now I will reveal to you what true faith is, not the religious faith you were taught, not the faith of repeating empty prayers, not the faith of going to church on Sundays, but the faith that works, the faith that creates, the faith that manifests, the faith that moves mountains. And this faith is simple. It is absolute certainty without the need for proof. It is knowing without needing to see. It is trusting without needing to understand. True faith doesn't ask. It doesn't plead. It doesn't beg. True faith assumes. It decrees. It knows. When you have true faith, you don't say, please God, send me money. You say, I know the money is already on the way. It's not a request. It's a declaration. It's not a plea. It's certainty. It's not hope. It's knowledge. And that difference changes everything. Silent faith is more powerful than loud pleading. The person who prays loudly, who asks desperately, who constantly begs, has no faith. He is afraid. He has doubt. He is desperate. Because if he had true faith, he wouldn't need to plead. He would just know. He would just trust. He would just wait with calm certainty. True faith is silent. It is quiet. It is peaceful because it knows. Think of someone who ordered something online. They placed the order. They paid. They received the confirmation. Do they keep sending desperate emails asking if the product will arrive? Do they keep begging for it to be shipped? Do they keep begging for it to be forgotten? No, because they're certain. They know it's on its way. They trust the process, and they simply wait. That's true faith, quiet certainty, silent trust, peaceful knowing. And this is how you should relate to manifestation. You made the request through assumption. You paid through feeling. You received confirmation through inner peace. Now just wait with certainty. You don't need to beg. You don't need to plead. You don't need to doubt. Just know, just trust, just wait, because it's on its way. It's certain, it's inevitable, but most don't have faith. They have hope, and there's a huge difference between faith and hope. Hope says, maybe it will happen. Faith says it will happen. Hope says, I wish it would. Faith says, I know. Hope is uncertain. Faith is absolute. Hope doubts. Faith is certain. And the universe responds to faith, not hope. It responds to certainty, not maybe. It responds to I know, not I wish it would. So how do you develop this faith? Not by convincing yourself, not by repeating affirmations without feeling them, but through repeated assumption. Every time you assume, every time you live as if you already have, every time you feel the gratitude of those who have already received, faith grows. Every time you choose certainty over doubt, faith grows stronger. Every time you return to assumption when fear strikes, faith becomes unshakable. If you have silent faith that money is already on its way, comment now, I have faith, and strengthen that certainty in your heart. And true faith doesn't need proof. It doesn't need signs. It doesn't need external validation. True faith is self-sufficient. It's complete in itself. It's unshakable. You can show it the empty account, and it doesn't waver. You can show it the overdue bills, and it doesn't doubt. You can show it the logical impossibility, and it doesn't waver. Because faith isn't based on the visible. Faith is based on the invisible. It isn't based on circumstances. It's based on the law. It isn't based on what is. It's based on what will be. It's written in the scriptures. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. See, certainty, not hope, certainty. Conviction, not doubt, conviction of things not seen yet, but which will be seen, because faith creates, faith manifests. Faith brings from the invisible to the visible, from the unmanifested to the manifested, from the potential to the real. And when you have this faith, when you truly have this unshakable certainty, you don't need to do anything desperately. You don't need to chase. You don't need to force. You just live. You just assume. You just wait with certainty. And the universe moves. Circumstances rearrange themselves. Opportunities appear. People appear. Paths open up. Everything conspires to manifest what you have faith in. Because faith is magnetic. Faith attracts, faith creates, not feigned faith, not superficial faith, but deep faith, silent faith, faith that knows. And this faith develops through practice, through repeated assumption, by constantly choosing certainty, by returning to faith whenever doubt arises. And over time, faith becomes your nature, certainty becomes your state, knowing becomes your reality. So cultivate this faith, not the noisy faith that pleads, but the silent faith that knows, not the desperate faith that begs, but the quiet faith that trusts, not the doubtful faith that waits, but the absolute faith that is certain. And when you have this faith, when you truly have this unshakable certainty, manifestation is swift, it is certain, it is inevitable. 2 days or less, because true faith knows no delay. True faith does not accept impossibility. True faith only creates, only manifests, only brings into existence that which it knows to be true. Now I'm going to teach you the most powerful paradox of manifestation. To receive, you must let go. To attract, you must release. To manifest, you must surrender. And this surrender is not weakness, it's not giving up, it's not defeat. This surrender is power, it's trust, it's faith in action, it's letting go of control and trusting in the divine process. Most people cling, they try to control every detail, they try to force every outcome, they try to manipulate every circumstance. And this attempt at control creates resistance, it creates tension, it creates blockage. It's like trying to hold water tightly. The tighter you squeeze, the more it escapes. The harder you force it, the more it resists. The more you try to control, the more you lose control. But when you surrender, when you let go, when you trust, resistance disappears, tension dissolves, blockages are removed, and flow happens naturally. Manifestation happens easily. Abundance happens inevitably, because surrender removes the obstacle, and the obstacle has always been you, your need to control, your attempt to force, your resistance to the natural flow. Vibrational surrender is saying, I've taken it on, I've felt it, I've done my part. Now I trust that the universe is doing its part. I don't know how it will happen. I don't need to know. I won't try to control it. I just trust, I just allow, I just wait with certainty. And this surrender, this letting go, this trust is what allows manifestation to happen. If you're ready to let go of control and trust the divine process, enjoy this video now and seal this powerful surrender. Think of the farmer. He plants the seed, he waters it, he tends it. But he doesn't try to force the plant to grow. He doesn't keep pulling the seed out of the ground. He doesn't try to control every stage of growth. He surrenders to the process. He trusts nature. He allows the law to work, and the plant grows, not because he forced it, but because he allowed it. And so it is with manifestation. You plant through assumption, you water through feeling, you nurture through consistency. But then you need to surrender, you need to let go, you need to trust, you need to allow the law to work. Let the universe orchestrate. Let manifestation happen at the right time, in the right way, through the right path. And when you surrender like this, when you truly let go of control, manifestation accelerates. Because there is no more resistance, there is no more blockage, there is no more tension. There is only flow, there is only trust, there is only surrender. And surrender is the fastest path to manifestation. 17. Now I'm going to tell you how the money will arrive in 2 days or less. And it will arrive in ways you might not expect, from directions you might not imagine, through paths you might not yet see, but it will arrive. Because when you assume, when you feel, when you live from certainty, I move heaven and earth to manifest it. It could be an unexpected opportunity. Someone will call, someone will offer something, someone will remember you, and that opportunity will bring in the money, not because you planned it, not because you forced it, but because you assumed it, and the assumption attracted the opportunity. The vibration created the synchronicity, the certainty paved the way. It could be someone who appears, someone you haven't seen in a while, someone new who enters your life, someone who has exactly what you need. And this person will be the channel, they will be the medium, they will be the bridge between your assumption and your manifestation. Because I use people, I use circumstances, I use synchronicity to bring the invisible to the visible. It could be an idea that comes to you. Suddenly, you'll know what to do. You'll see the path, you'll have clarity, and that idea, when you act on it, will generate money. It will open the door. You'll create abundance, because the idea comes from connection. It comes from alignment. It comes from the assumption that opens the channel for divine inspiration. It could be a path that doesn't even exist yet, something that will be created in the coming days, a circumstance that will arise, a situation that will arise, and through this new path, money will flow. Because I'm not limited to what already exists. I create new paths. I open new doors. I manifest new possibilities. If you believe you will receive it in 2 days or less, comment 7777 now and activate the divine timer of your manifestation. Don't try to guess how. Don't try to plan the path. Don't try to control the means. Just trust. Just wait. Just hold the assumption and watch. You watch how things begin to move, how synchronicities begin to happen, how opportunities begin to appear. Because I am orchestrating, I am working, I am manifesting, and in 2 days or less, you will see the result. You will receive the money. You will witness the law in action, because firm assumption always manifests quickly. Now I'm going to tell you exactly what your responsibility is, what you need to do, and what you don't need to do. Because most people complicate things. Most people think they need to do everything, control everything, solve everything. But your responsibility is simple, it's clear, it's just 3 things. Assume, feel, maintain the vibration. That's all, that's enough, that's your job. To embrace means to live as if you've already received it, to declare, I am rich, to inhabit the identity of abundance, not occasionally, but consistently, not when you remember, but as a dominant state. That is your first responsibility. Embrace it. To feel means to inhabit the emotions of those who already have them. Gratitude, relief, peace, certainty, freedom. Don't fake these feelings, but truly feel them, truly inhabit them, truly live them. Because feeling is the language of creation. Feeling is what programs the subconscious. Feeling is what attracts manifestation. This is your second responsibility. Feel. Maintaining your vibration means returning to assumption when doubt arises, returning to feeling when fear appears, returning to certainty when worry strikes. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be consistent. You don't need to ever doubt, but you must always return. This is your third responsibility, maintaining your vibration. That's it. 3 things: assume, feel, maintain. You don't need to know how the money will arrive. You don't need to plan the means. You don't need to control circumstances. You don't need to force opportunities. You don't need to manipulate people. You don't need to do everything yourself. Because the rest is up to me. The rest is my responsibility. Share this video now and free someone from the burden of trying to control everything alone. I orchestrate the means. I open the paths. I create the opportunities. I move people. I organize the circumstances. I manifest abundance. This is my responsibility. This is my job. This is my part. And I do it perfectly. I do it powerfully. I do it inevitably. When you do your part. So stop trying to do my part. Stop trying to control what isn't yours. Stop carrying the weight that isn't yours. Your part is simple. Assume, feel, maintain. My part is complex. Orchestrate, create, manifest. You do the internal. I do the external. You change the vibration. I change the circumstances. You assume the end. I organize the means. And when everyone does their part, manifestation happens. Quickly, certainly, inevitably. 2 days or less. 2123 Now I need to warn you about something crucial. When money starts manifesting, when opportunities start appearing, when paths start opening, pay attention, be alert, don't dismiss, don't ignore. Don't say, that's not what I expected, because I work in mysterious ways. I use unexpected paths. I manifest through unlikely means. Most people miss manifestation because they're waiting for something specific. They're waiting in a particular way. They're waiting for a familiar path. And when a different opportunity presents itself, they dismiss it. When the door opens in an unexpected direction, they ignore it. When the path appears in an unlikely way, they reject it. And then you wonder why the manifestation didn't happen. You don't realize it happened. You just didn't acknowledge it. So be alert. When someone contacts you unexpectedly, pay attention. It could be the channel. When an idea comes out of nowhere, consider it. It could be inspiration. When an opportunity presents itself, even if it seems small, explore it. It could be the beginning. Because I rarely manifest in the obvious way. I rarely take the expected path. I rarely work predictably. Sometimes manifestation starts small, a small opportunity, a small payment, a small opening, and most dismiss it because they expected something big. They expected the full amount. They expected the total solution, but they don't realize that the small is the beginning. It's the first door. It's the first step. And when you act on the small, when you honor the beginning, when you follow the first opening, the big comes, the complete manifests, the total appears. Other times, manifestation comes through something seemingly unrelated, a casual conversation, a chance encounter, a random suggestion, and most ignore it because they don't see the connection. They don't see how it can lead to money. They don't see the complete path. But you don't need to see the complete path. You just need to take the next step. You just need to follow the next indication. You just need to trust the next synchronicity. And sometimes, manifestation requires you to do something. Call someone, text someone, go somewhere, take action, and you'll feel the urge, you'll feel the intuition, you'll feel the need to do something. And when you feel it, act. Don't question, don't overanalyze, don't let fear stop you. Just act, because that urge comes from me. That intuition is my guidance. That action is your role in co-creation. But always remember, the path may be different than you imagined. It may be simpler, it may be more complex, it may be faster, it may be more gradual, but it will be perfect. It will be exactly what you need. It will be the right path for you, because I know you, I know your journey, I know what's best for you, and I orchestrate it all perfectly. So don't get stuck in a specific way. Don't limit manifestation to a particular path. Don't say, I'll only accept it if it comes that way. Open yourself, allow, trust, and be attentive. Pay attention to the people who show up. Pay attention to the ideas that emerge. Pay attention to the opportunities that reveal themselves. Pay attention to the impulses you feel. Pay attention to the synchronicities that occur. Because in the next 2 days or less, I will move pieces, I will open doors, I will create pathways, I will manifest opportunities. And your responsibility is to recognize, to be attentive, to not dismiss, to follow the signs, to act on impulses, to trust the synchronicities. And when you do that, when you are truly attentive, when you recognize my hand in motion, the manifestation is complete. The money arrives, abundance manifests, and you look back and see how everything fell into place perfectly, how every piece had a purpose, how every synchronicity was part of the plan, how I was orchestrating it all along. Trust, be attentive, and receive. Son, I decree over your life now, in this moment, in this instant, you are no longer who you were when you began listening to this audio. You are no longer the person who lived in the vibration of lack. You are no longer the one who waited, who begged, who doubted. That person has died. That identity has dissolved. That state has ended. You are now the one who receives, not the one who waits, the one who receives. You are now the one who assumes. not the one who asks, the one who assumes. You are now the one who is certain, not the one who doubts, the one who is certain. This is your new identity. This is your new reality. This is your new being. And this identity is not temporary. It is not conditional. It is not provisional. It is eternal. It is permanent. It is definitive. Abundance isn't something you seek outside. It's something you are within. Wealth isn't something that comes to you. It's something that flows from you. Prosperity isn't something you wait for. It's something you inhabit, because you've changed, you've transformed, you've elevated yourself, and this transformation is irreversible. It's complete, it's total. If you accept this new eternal identity of abundance, like this video and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving divine decrees, you are rich, you won't be. You are abundant, you won't be. You are prosperous, you don't expect to be. You are present, now, in this moment. This is the truth about you. This is the reality of your being. This is the essence of your existence. And when you live from this truth, when you inhabit this reality, when you embrace this essence, everything changes. Circumstances rearrange themselves, opportunities appear, money flows, because the external always reflects the internal, always, without exception, without fail. And now I seal this decree upon your life. I seal it with my authority. I seal it with my power. I seal it with my word that does not return void. What has been decreed is decreed. What has been declared is declared. What has been sealed is sealed, and nothing can reverse it. Nothing can nullify it. Nothing can stop it, because when I decree, it happens. When I seal, it is done. When I declare, it is manifested. 2 days or less. That's the promise. That's the decree. That's the time. Not 2 months, not 2 years. 2 days or less. And this promise doesn't depend on your current circumstances. It doesn't depend on your bank account. It doesn't depend on your past history. It depends only on your acceptance, your faith, your vibration. And if you accepted, if you felt, if you maintain certainty, manifestation is inevitable. It's done in the spiritual world. It's complete in the invisible realm. It's manifested in the dimension of causes. Now, it only needs to appear in the physical world. It only needs to materialize in visible reality. It only needs to become tangible. And this happens quickly. When the assumption is firm, when the faith is unshakable, when the vibration is consistent, 2 days or less, I saw the end from the beginning. I know the outcome before the beginning. I know what's coming to you. And it's good, it's abundant, it's more than you can imagine, because I don't give by measure, I don't give by limitation, I don't give by scarcity, I give abundantly, I give generously, I give perfectly. And what's coming to you will surprise you, it will rejoice you, it will confirm everything you've learned. Comment now, I am abundant, and seal this divine decree over your life forever. And when the money arrives, when the manifestation happens, when you see the law in action, remember, it wasn't luck, it wasn't coincidence, it wasn't chance, it was law. It was assumption, it was vibration, it was you using the power I placed within you. It was you applying the principles I revealed to you. It was you living from the certainty I taught you. And you can always do this. You can always manifest. You can always create, because the power is within you, permanently, eternally, infinitely. This isn't a one-time manifestation. This isn't an isolated miracle. This is the beginning of a new way of living, a new way of being, a new way of creating your reality, because now you know Now you understand. Now you have the tools, you have the knowledge, you have the power, and you can use it for anything, for more money, for health, for relationships, for opportunities, for everything you want to manifest, because the law is the same, the principle is the same, the power is the same. Assume, feel, maintain the vibration, and manifest always, without exception, without fail. It's spiritual mathematics, it's quantum physics, it's universal law, and it always works. For everyone, in all situations, without discrimination, without favoritism, just law, pure, simple, powerful. So go, live from this new identity, inhabit this new consciousness, embrace this new reality, and watch how your life transforms, how money flows, how abundance manifests, how prosperity becomes your norm, not the exception, the norm, the natural state. The constant reality, it is decreed, it is sealed, it is done, 2 days or less. The money comes, abundance manifests, the promise is fulfilled, because I am faithful, because the law is certain, because the decree is sealed, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what I have decreed for your life. Receive, trust, wait with certainty, because it is done, it is complete, it is guaranteed. Amen. And now you understand something profound. This manifestation is not an isolated event. It is not a one-time miracle. It is not an exception to the rule. This manifestation is the beginning of a cycle, a continuous cycle, an eternal cycle, a cycle of abundance that never ends, that never runs out, that has no limits, because you have learned the law, you have understood the principle, you have mastered the power, and this knowledge is eternal. Every time you assume, you create. Every time you feel, you manifest. Every time you live from certainty, you attract. It's not something you do once, it's something you always are. It's not a temporary technique, it's a permanent way of living. It's not an occasional exercise, it's a constant state of being. And the more you live this way, the more you inhabit this consciousness, the more you embrace this identity, the more natural it becomes, more automatic, more powerful. Abundance becomes your breath. Manifestation becomes your rhythm. Prosperity becomes your essence. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to force it. You don't have to strive. You just are. You just live. You just inhabit. And creation happens naturally, automatically, inevitably, because it's who you are, not what you do, who you are. And each time you hear these words, each time you revisit these teachings, each time you reconnect with this truth, manifestation accelerates, vibration rises, certainty strengthens, because repetition creates mastery. Repetition creates mastery. Repetition creates permanent transformation. You don't hear these words just once. You hear them repeatedly, because each repetition imprints more deeply. Each repetition programs more completely. Each repetition manifests more quickly. You think of it like waves in the ocean. One wave creates movement. 2 waves create momentum. 3 waves create force. And continuous waves create total transformation. They change the coastline. They shape the earth. They create new reality. And every time you hear this decree, every time you absorb these teachings, every time you embrace this truth, it's a wave of transformation, a wave of manifestation, a wave of creation. And the waves don't stop, they continue, they flow, they move eternally, because abundance is not a destination, a journey. It's not an arrival, it's a path. It's not an end, it's a continuous process. And the more you walk this path, the more you live this process, the more you inhabit this journey, the more abundant you become, more prosperous, richer, not just in money, in everything, in peace, in joy, in certainty, in power, because you understood the secret few know, the secret that changes everything, and that secret is simple. You are the creator, not the victim. You are the cause, not the effect. You are the power, not the powerless. And when you live from this knowledge, when you inhabit this truth, when you embrace this power, everything changes, everything transforms, everything manifests. So keep going. Don't stop here. Don't think it's over, because this is just the beginning of a new life, the beginning of a new reality, the beginning of a new way of being. And every day you live from this awareness, every day you embrace this identity, every day you inhabit this vibration, you create more, you manifest more, you attract more. Abundance has no limit. It has no ceiling. It has no end. You can manifest once. You can manifest 1,000 times. You can manifest infinitely, because the power is within you. It always has been. It always will be. And now that you know, now that you understand, now that you have mastered it, you can use this power always, for everything, in every situation, at all times, 2 days or less. That was the promise for this demonstration, but it's not the last promise. It's the first of many, the first of an infinite number, because now you know how. Now you understand the process. Now you master the law, and you can apply it whenever you want, whenever you assume it, whenever you feel it, whenever you live from certainty. The cycle continues. Manifestation continues. Creation continues, because you continue. You continue to embrace. You continue to feel. You continue to live from abundance. And each cycle strengthens, each manifestation confirms, each creation elevates, until abundance is not something you manifest, it's something you are. It's not something you attract. It's something you radiate. It's not something you seek. It's something you experience naturally, automatically, eternally. And now, listen again with an attentive heart, because each time you listen, manifestation accelerates.